Hey guys, Devin here with Ground Force Metal Detecting. I want to talk about iron falsing, what it is, how does it happen, and why. Iron falsing is when you're metal detecting and you're in some iron, you're hearing some grunts, and suddenly you get a nice high tone. Sounds like it could be a coin or something non-ferrous. It's a nice high tone, maybe not the clearest, maybe not the perfect tone, but you're curious and you dig it up. And what is it? A nail, a big nail, or a bolt, or some kind of big piece of iron. Well, why did it do that? And what causes it? I'm going to tell you how and scientifically why it does it. Let's go. Okay, so first you're going to want to know how your coil works on your metal detector. I'm going to try to keep this simple. You have two basic kinds of coils that are on most metal detectors, a double D or a concentric. The double D is called that because it has two coils shaped like Ds, one forward D and one backward D, and they overlap in the middle, and they make that bar that goes down the center of your coil from front to back. One side of the D is the transmit, sending the magnetic field into the ground, and the other side of the D is the receive, which is listening to the magnetic field from the transmitter coil, listening for a disturbance, which it will then send to the processor to, be reported to you after it's processed and figured out what, the processor thinks it is. With a concentric coil, same principle. The coils are just, round. One's an outer coil on the outer rim of your of your round coil. That's the transmit coil, and then you always have a little center one, which is the receive coil. So you have different zones of detections with these coils. All right, the double D zone of detection is that bar that goes from front to back. Anything directly below that center bar, will be detected. From shallow to deep. That's the zone of detection. You have to pass that center bar, over your target. It's not going to, just because your coil is this big, your zone of detection is just that center bar. With a concentric coil, it's a little different. Your zone of detection is the size of the outer coil at shallow depths and gets smaller as you get deeper in the shape of a cone. So that's your zone of detection, okay? You need to know that for this next part, okay? All right, so what happens when you pass your coil over a piece of metal? The magnetic field induces what are called eddy currents based on the surface area of your target and the shape of your target. And those eddy currents are just little magnetic field currents that emit back into the ground from the target, are picked up by the receiver coil as the disturbance in the magnetic field, sent to the processor and processed, okay? With a non-ferrous target, aluminum, gold, that's all that happens. The eddy currents are picked up, processed, okay? Based on the concentration and the strength, how many eddy currents there are, that's how the processor decides what you're looking at. With a ferrous target, okay? Ferrous targets, remember, are also not just metal, but they're magnetic. Okay, you can take a nail and wrap a wire around it, hook it to a battery, and it becomes a little electromagnet. Okay, sort of the same thing happens when you hit a nail with a strong magnetic field from a metal detector. It becomes a tiny little electromagnet. Weaker, but still an electromagnet. Those magnetic fields in certain shaped ferrous objects are able to concentrate the eddy currents for example, in the ends of a nail. Let's look at a bar magnet, okay? When I was in school, and probably when you were in school, you took a bar magnet, okay? And just say this is a bar magnet. This happens to be a bolt that got me with iron falsing the other day, okay? It's big, it's thick, it's a bolt. So let's pretend this is a bar magnet, all right? we took the bar magnet, put a piece of paper over it, sprinkled iron shavings on there, and it showed the magnetic field of the bar magnet and how it flows. It looked like this picture. Now looking at that picture, that's a bar magnet and the magnetic field of a bar magnet. Now pretend that bar magnet's a nail, right? You see how the magnetic field is concentrated at the ends? That's why when you have a bar magnet, it's extra magnetic at the ends, but not so much in the middle. If you try to stick it to something, you don't try to pick up something with a magnet like that. You're going to pick it up like that because the magnetic field is many times stronger at the ends. Okay, those concentrated magnetic fields at the end of a bar magnet slash nail under a magnetic field, or this bolt. Okay, this bolt became a bar magnet when I hit it with a magnetic field, generating concentrated magnetic fields off the end that the metal detector picks up, the same as eddy currents. Okay. Now, when you pass, now the metal detector likes to, it is more sensitive to currents that are perpendicular to your swing, perpendicular to your zone of detection. So say my coil, my hand is my coil, and I'm swinging left to right. If my bolt or ferrous object that is rod shaped or nail shaped is in the ground this way, okay, and I pass over it, I'm going to hit that concentrated zone of magnetic field off of each end of this, and it's going to register, it may register as a high tone, okay, because the metal detector is confused by the concentration of magnetic field in that spot, okay. And that's why, okay, that is why you will get a iron falsing here, an iron falsing here, and you'll pick up iron in the middle, okay? You're not going to get the falsing here because of those currents in that diagram. That's why we turn 90 degrees on our feet and rescan, and the metal detector does not false across a nail in this direction, okay? It could, but not as bad. But remember, nothing's perfect in this world, so it'd be rare for you to hit this on a 90-degree angle. Maybe it's like this, and you've got some diagonal action going on here, and you're going to get a sketchy high tone, all right? Then you go to turn 90 degrees, now you're like this, and you're still getting a sketchy high tone, but now it's up here, and now it's down here, and in the spot, it's hard to pinpoint. Okay, that's a sign that you're looking at ferrous, you're looking at iron. Okay, you're getting falsed. All right, if you get a high tone and you turn 90 degrees and go this way, and it's gone, and you're hitting iron bumps, grunts, beeps, whatever, bump, 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 bump. So you're going like this. Wait, did I have that? I'm not sure if I had that right. You're going like this. You're getting beep, beep, bump, bump, beep, beep, right? High tone, low tone. Then you go and you turn 90 degrees and you scan this way, and it's bump, 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 bump. That's iron. You found a piece of iron that was falsing you because of these currents. Same principle on circular metal, circular iron. Here's what the magnetic field looks like. When you hit that magnetic field perpendicular to the concentration's coming out of the middle there, as you see, right? So if your circular piece of metal, maybe it's on its side or whatever, and you hit that at a perpendicular motion, you could get a high tone. And it's fairly common to get falsing from a circular iron object, okay? Because it will concentrate the eddy currents will concentrate where that magnetic field is coming off of there on an iron object. A bent nail will behave kind of like a horseshoe magnet, all right? And it will also concentrate eddy currents differently. Okay, just imagine that that horseshoe is a bent nail. Doesn't have to be bent perfectly. It can be just a little bent, and you're going to have that magnetic field flowing from one side to the other. So if your metal detector passes perpendicular to that magnetic field, it's going to read that as more eddy currents and a higher conductive target. The more eddy currents, the higher the conductive target. Okay, so that's why this happens. Okay, what do you do to battle iron falsing? Okay, your sensitivity could be too high. Okay, your audio response being really high will magnify this. Okay, multi-frequency, sort of more, they're more susceptible to this. Okay, I'm probably missing something, but anyway, the principle is this. Okay, most of the time when you get iron falsing, this is a perfect example because this fooled me just the other day. And you know, it did fool me, but shame on me because it was sketchy, all right? So kind of like, you know, it just sounded too good in this one spot. It's like, man, what if there's a freaking $50 down there and there's a nail above it or something? Because I was getting iron and I was getting 90s, and then I'd get iron, and then the 90s and I'd go this way, and I could get a little bit of 90, but it's probably like this, you know. I could get a little bit of 90, but not as much, and I'd turn, and then I'd get it, and then I'd turn, and then I'd turn, it'd be gone. I should have known it was iron. I got to digging, pulled this up, and it's like, man, there it was. A big old bolt. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. That's all there really is to it. Iron falsing is because of magnetic fields induced, and you're picking up the poles of an electromagnet that you're creating with your metal detector. Okay, it only picks up, not only, but it is the strongest falsing when going perpendicular to the concentrated magnetic field. Okay, so that's it for this video. I'm going to do some videos maybe demonstrating this. I wanted to put something together, sort of theoretical type thing, just sort of explanation with some diagrams. Anyway, have a great time, have a great day. Thanks for watching my videos, and swing away.